When you think about it, politics is always partly driven by the communication technology of every era. And I mean all the way back. If you look at FDR's famous direct addresses of the public, he did it through radio. And at the time, those radio addresses or fireside chats were considered revolutionary in their own way, just as JFK famously mastered the medium I'm talking to you through right now, the medium of television. Far better, it was seen at the time, than his rival, Richard Nixon. The Kennedy-Nixon debates on TV are a famous example of that. Now, today, we have hugely popular social media platforms like TikTok. And you may know it by the way that it first tended to go viral with a lot of fun and carefree content like the dances and the jokes. But let me tell you something tonight. TikTok has also been emerging as the most popular searched app, beating Google for the first time last year, which means more people are starting to get information on TikTok than any other place. That's sometimes the first place they go. Here's another statistic. Over a quarter of people under 30 say they regularly get their news on TikTok. And we're seeing people use it to sometimes push for political reform.
Let's take a moment of silence for this man. What have we fought for our world to become something so pitiful like this? We are getting killed every day for our skin tone.
Banned from the children's section. So now a Native American congresswoman shouldn't be on the shelf.
The front-runner candidate for the Republican Party is under arrest. We've kind of gotten used to being like, oh, he's indicted, oh, he's being arrested, oh, he's found liable of these horrible things, and not really sitting in the moment.
Fair points, several of them. So you see citizens, our fellow citizens, sometimes maybe a little younger, but really of all diversity, when you look at the sheer scale of this, using this platform to push for change. And that's important whether you're on it or not when you see what's happening. Because we see this technology is adding new voices, as I mentioned, diverse voices, and that is the context for a very certain type of crackdown. It might be familiar to you, again, whether you get your news from here or there or wherever, because Republicans in Montana have made it the first state to pass a law fully banning any access to the entire app. This law is slated to take effect in January. It forbids even downloading the app, let alone watching videos on it. Videos that might, criticize, well, Republicans in that state, among other things. And they fine the app stores, the big players like Google or Apple, if they make TikTok even available in the state. It does not try to punish individual users. Now, the state's Republican governor says this will, quote, protect Montanans' personal and private data from the Chinese Communist Party. Now, TikTok is linked to a Chinese tech company, and it has many questions about not only its policies and privacy rules, but what could go all the way back to the Chinese government. It currently denies doing that. Now, here's that governor.
It's a violation of the Montana privacy clause in our Constitution, and we're pleased that we're the first state in the country to outright ban the application. Again, I wish it was broader. I wish it picked up the Russian apps and the other Chinese apps. We just ran out of time in our legislature to get that done.
That's the Republican governor. He says this is all about fighting the foreign influence. But as I just showed you, there's a heck of a lot of Americans, some of whom don't have a ton of access to other forms of speech, who were being heard and calling for change. So he can offer his reason, but it's definitely affecting the free speech of his citizens, his constituents. Now, TikTok is suing over this, and there's people who post on the site who are also suing. Many argue this kind of ban is clearly against free speech and is unconstitutional. And let me be clear, there are certainly legitimate critiques of TikTok like any other big international conglomerate. There's questions about data privacy, about how it affects minors. The company was recently fined, I want to note, in the UK for misusing data of minors. That's a big deal. In the U.S., Congress recently grilled TikTok's CEO over the data security as well as those potentially legitimate issues of what could get back to the Chinese government and how all this material is being used in ways we don't understand. My point being that if you follow the evidence, there are valid questions here about how to regulate or deal with TikTok and other online platforms, which also have become hubs for spreading all kinds of material and misinformation. So, these are fair questions to ask. But that's not what this state is doing. Government efforts to ban an entire communication tool are always suspect. That's true under American law, and it's true if you have any even cursory knowledge of world history. And that's true here with this Republican effort to ban the entire thing, even amidst some valid questions, as I mentioned, about privacy, minors, and foreign ties. We're looking at a clash and a potential precedent that I promise you concerns all of us, even if you've never tried TikTok or decided you never will. So, we have, as you see on your screen, a test of free speech itself. And if you need one more thought experiment, imagine that it wasn't TikTok, but was just banning access to all of Facebook or all of Twitter or all of the websites that are offering both information, plenty of other stuff, but information, civic discourse, and again, criticisms of a Republican Party that is increasingly comfortable telling you what you can and can't read, what you can and can't see in school, what is and isn't American history, and now what your neighbor wants to post, a video, be it of alleged police brutality or a town hall meeting. Nope. They want to tell you you can't do that either. Watch out for anyone in government, right now it happens to be on the right, but anyone in government, left, right, or center, who's trying to ban entire sources of information and free speech.